I've done a lot of your benchmarking analyses. I think one thing I kind of feel like if instead of learning from lessons learned from mistake, I prefer lessons learned from your peers. Treasury is a very small community, especially in the Bay Area. A lot of us, we know each other. I talk to my peers when I have questions on like vendors we use because we have very similar, a lot of Treasury teams have, every company probably uses similar vendors.
The biggest challenge I've noticed in the Treasury industry. It's professionals finding it tough to build an impactful brand. That's exactly why I put together an ebook, Building and Managing an Impactful Professional Brand. It has helped over 100 professionals define their unique values and stand out in their careers. In this ebook, you'll find practical tips to build a strong network and sharpen the skills you need to succeed in this industry. And the best part, it's completely free. Grab your copy now by clicking the link in the description below. Welcome to this week's episode of the Treasury Truth or Dare podcast, where we challenge Treasury leaders with a simple choice, truth or dare. Today we welcome Josline Ma, a powerhouse in the world of Treasury. She currently serves as a senior Treasury manager in capital markets at Bill. With over 14 years of experience in Treasury and finance, Josline has built an impressive career navigating capital markets, optimizing cash flow strategies, and driving financial efficiencies at one of the largest fintech companies in the world. In this episode, Josline dives into what it takes to elevate the Treasury profession and make it more accessible to the next generation. She'll share her insights on breaking into Treasury through rotational programs, why networking is a game changer for career growth, and how Treasury teams can claim their rightful seat at the strategic table. As always, Josline will take on several rounds of Truth or Dare, where she will reveal her biggest career lessons, the realities of working in capital markets, and maybe even a personal insight or two. And of course, after round 5, she'll have the chance to turn the tables and issue a dare to me. Stay tuned as Josline makes her first choice. It's going to be an insightful and exciting episode packed with Treasury wisdom and, as always, a few surprises along the way. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone. This is Ernie Humphrey. Welcome to this episode of the Treasury Truth or Dare podcast. I'm honored to have with me Josline Ma. She's a senior Treasury manager in capital markets at Bill. So, Josline, why don't you just go ahead? First of all, welcome to the webinar. Why don't you give us a little bit about your background in Treasury and anything else you'd like to share right out of the gate?
Yeah, thank you, Ernie. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speaking with you at this podcast. My name is Josline Ma, and I've been with Treasury Finance for almost 14, 15 years now. And I'm at my current company, Bell, for over almost 4.5 years now, focusing on the capital market side. So happy to have the conversation here with Ernie today to discuss anything that you want to ask. Thanks.
All right. You heard it here, folks. Anything I want to ask. So before we dive in, anything, I'd be remiss if I didn't remind people the way the podcast works is we have several rounds of Truth or Dare, and I'll ask Josline a Truth or a Dare, and then she will choose, and then based on her answer, I will ask her to share a truth or maybe do a little bit of a dare, and then after several rounds, I will give her the opportunity to give me a dare live. So that's a challenge. A lot of people have embarrassed me already, so there's a challenge for you. All right, Josline, round number 1. You want to kick things off with a truth or a dare?
Let's do choose first.
All right. All right. So one of the reasons I'm doing this podcast is I think that the Treasury has a brand image, and I'd like to see more attention paid to engaging people that are a little bit newer to the profession and aren't treasurers yet. So what do you think we all can do to increase the awareness of the Treasury profession to the younger people that want to get in, or people that are newer or that want to get into our profession?
Great question. I think I personally benefits a lot because I was lucky early in the days. I joined a finance rotational program at one of the biggest software company in the Bay Area. So I think establishing a probably like finance rotational program where the key finance organization provide opportunity to either new college grad or newer finance professionals has exposure to different key function under finance, and they can decide. And that's where, of course, Treasury is part of it as well. So I was a part of the finance rotational program early in my career, and then I landed my job at corporate Treasury. And it was I would say that was one of my best experience in my early days. You learn so much, and you get to choose what you want to do for your career. So that's one approach I think it would be really helpful for company to establish a program. The other thing we're thinking about is also probably like internship program, like tertiary internship program. It can be provided to the even new college grad or in college students for internship. So then they know and they can learn, because tertiary is not very typical, or maybe not as like common as accounting and finance. So having internship available for new college grads or in college students would be a very helpful channel for them to get to know Treasury better. The other thing I was also thinking about, even like for us existing Treasury professions at companies, it's helpful to provide some type of training sessions or general Treasury educational sessions regarding like cash management, banking operations, or even FX 101, investment 101, any of that. I know my current company has a training portal for like compliance trainings and HR trainings, all sorts of like company related corporate policy trainings. And I think we can definitely volunteer to like record sessions in terms of how each function of a treasury works on a high level, of course. And then that can be open to the broader company, and everybody can, getting to know you better. And of course that could be a accounting session too, or a finance session. It doesn't have to be treasury only. So those are very, very helpful channel. And of course, our podcast here is definitely, it's also a great channel that what you're doing here promoting the treasury profession. It's definitely something that's very appreciated and in the treasury community.
Thank you very much. So a few things I'll take out of there. One of the things that strikes me is when I was younger, we used to have Treasury was taught at universities, so we worked with colleges and the business schools to have Treasury as a course and get the awareness there. So I think that's something that we should all endeavor to get back to. And I love the latter part of your answer where you shared that we should create resources not only for Treasury people to learn and potentially recruit people from the other side of the company that would be great for the Treasury team, but to help others understand what we do. And that'll help us build relationships and be better in our jobs, of course. So thank you for that. All right, round two. What do you think we're going to do, truth or dare?
It's up to you. You can pick.
Oh, it's up to me. Well, then I'm going to go for a dare. Okay, here we go. I like this question. What's the least favorite part of your professional life?
Uh-oh. I think it's something that I cannot write everything about. Like, I cannot write a book about everything about my work. So, or I cannot tell, I cannot tell HR that some of the stuff I dislike at work. That's kind of a joke. But what I'm trying to say, the other thing, I think this favorite part will be sometimes our skill or our experience are kind of limited to the responsibility or scope we have within our job title. So let's say my department, the whole treasury department here, we're implementing a treasury management system, but the banking operation team oversees this project, and then they're the one mainly responsible for from start to end implementation. And of course, the module they're implementing, it's more on the cash management side. So my area is more focused on the capital markets. So to me, my firsthand experience or firsthand knowledge that's very limited to the scope. This way, I'm not like involved in like the implementation from start to end. I might be chiming to give feedbacks and stuff. I'm not having experience of the whole implementation process. So this is sometimes I think you can't really change much. Maybe you can volunteer, but you don't have the first-hand experience. That's kind of limit to your work scope.
Right. No, it makes sense. So that's why what you mentioned earlier was promoting the brand of Treasury, right? So people know what you do, what you want to do, and then they want to involve you in the process. So all of us have been there. And to me, kind of one thing you did a good job of not quite mentioning, but I'll mention. When I was in Treasury, I was prohibited from certain things because of my job title, because I wasn't the treasurer. So I get boxed out because of my title rather than my knowledge. And so I think that's something that we definitely need to work on as a profession. And I think once other people realize that, actually, I'm going to dovetail on that comment because it really gets to a truth that I want to ask you about. So, what I've seen, and I'd like to know your thoughts, and if you see this, and maybe what you think we might be able to do about it, is when I look for treasury resources and people reach out, they don't reach out because it's all treasury. So it's like how to be a treasurer, how to, it's all about treasurer, treasurer, treasurer. Are there things that you'd like to see more about maybe how to be a treasury manager and things that are targeted to folks that aren't quite at the top of the org chart yet?
That's a good question. I mean, I've been there, so and I'm still not a treasurer yet, so I can't really say too much about. I cannot say too much about like from treasurer's view, but I think for for more junior level or like beginning of a treasury profession, uh, one thing we as manager or senior managers or even directors can help out for the lower level or junior level employee is to provide provide training and then also having them own the responsibility. So my personal experience is of course you had to see the employees' learning curve and tailor the learning experience for them. Even if they have experience and if they're coming from different companies, it still takes some time to kind of train them to learn everything or business models or what we do on a regular basis, tools and systems. So observe and provide training and be patient with that. So give employees good opportunity to learn and then just make sure that you're always there to provide support. And then once they're ready or once you think they're ready, give them the opportunity to own like owning processes, owning projects like automation projects, streamlining the processes, or months end responsibilities, working with business partners, involved in cross functional projects. Those are very very helpful. Like I learned a lot as I progress on my in my career, and I had a lot of great bosses in different companies that for the last 14, 15 years. So I think I can totally see that in my own shoes. I would do the same thing, and I have been doing that same thing to my employees. And then progressing to a treasurer it'll be a of course if you've done all of that, and then there's a lot of skills involved in order to become a treasurer, right? So but yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So, some people have had a good experience. It starts with the treasurer, anyone that has a direct report, taking some ownership of the professional development of your team. And so, like the treasurers, my boss was a treasurer. He pulled me into meetings. He sent me stuff from the organizations that were doing all these events and training and got me to speak. So that's definitely one way to do it. And I'm on the soapbox to have us support more, right? So people like me that do resources for the treasury profession and other organizations, we need to focus more on helping people develop and giving them the same skills that treasurers need, and not only thinking, oh, treasurers are the only important people when you have to, no offense, Microsoft, you have to work at Microsoft to understand my content. No, the only one anyone wants to hear from is Microsoft. So I think a lot of people will engage with this podcast to hear from you, right? You have a great experience, but you can be a model of what's a great treasury manager. I think that's where we're missing.
Right.
as well.
Right. Right.
Okay. Let's go to the next round, and then after this round, you can choose. I'll let you I'll let you give me a dare. So let's have one more for you. Are you gonna go for a truth or a dare?
Let's do choose one more time.
All right. All right. I know this is truth, but I like this. I like this question. Uh, I'm giving you three wishes to grant on behalf of the Treasury profession. What are they?
I like the magic power of that
That's
I'm
right.
able to get three wishes. Yes. I feel like this is almost a dare question that, like you said, mentioned. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the truth, but I like it. If I have if I have the wishes for three, then I'm thinking for treasury professions, it's always owning a seat at the table.
Yeah.
At least based on my experience, a lot of time treasury team it's not um considers or involved at the early stage of decision making. So at least for my current company, we're a fintech company, so it's very important to have Treasury's experience and expertise in the early stage of a project because oftentimes we're involved in product designs. We work very closely. We're not just a back office Treasury team. We work very closely with product engineering and other key functions. When we having a seat at the table, um, you can avoid a lot of chaos later on.
Sure.
We're very good with, hey, how's the funds flow works? How can we optimize the investment returns? How can we save the costs? And what do we need to uh, be considering, let's say, if we're having a new entity somewhere at the different countries, what's the regulatory requirements? A lot of things. And have we have the expertise in those areas. So having Treasury owning a seat at the table is really helpful. Not just we have a voice on the table, but it's really helping out the company or the team, broader team to achieve the goal faster. So that's one thing. Second wish would be I would say that it may be my personal wish, just like having always having easier growth and development, meaning that it's very important, and at least from my personal perspective, having career advancement and support from leaders, and able to uh, not only just learn from job, but also having the trainings and learnings and personal advancement opportunities like conferences and seminars and all those if continuing educations are needed that's always available for the tertiary professions. And last one I'm thinking about is having excellent public speaking skills. This is something that I want to be better at, and I think is a lot of people are it's not easy. It's not an easy skill. Being able to be confident and uh have the storytelling skills and able to entertain your audience and having those master all the skills that you can be very comfortable on the stage is some of the very important skills that one maybe not just church and everybody, a lot of people, a lot of profession wish to have.
Oh,
Yes,
no,
that's what my three.
that's fantastic. I love your last point. Is we are trained up and we have the courage to invest in our soft skills so we can communicate with impact, and that will give us more professional opportunities, but will also raise the bar of our profession. So I
Yeah,
applaud you for speaking on the podcast, and we'll talk afterwards. I talk more than my guests. I shouldn't do that. Me volunteering with AFP and speaking at AFP and getting out there and doing that has helped quite a bit. So we're definitely, if you're interested, we're gonna get you going on that front. All right, your time to have fun. All right, I'm ready for you to give me a dare.
my first dare, if you allow me to have more than one dare. my
Sure.
first my first dare is if you hit a jackpot today, and you with all the wealth you have, what would you be doing immediately in first year after you have all the wealth?
I don't. It would probably take me a year to figure out
what to do where I could have the most impact. So, there's all these altruistic things that I would like to do, but I have to investigate, being a quantitative person, will it make an impact? If I invest money here, is it going to make an impact? So, and then who can I engage to help me with some of my initiatives? But the other thing that I would definitely do is I would probably form a different kind of company, and it would be different because I wouldn't have to worry about, finding a way to generate any kind of revenue. And I would pay some of the most amazing treasury people I've met throughout my career to help me in my company. And I would buy a bus and travel all across the country, talk to every university, talk to treasury people, talk to finance people, and I would get on the gospel. And I think our profession needs a little bit of saving right now. So I'd be on the top of that, uh, touting about our profession.
Great idea. I love the part that
Okay.
you are going to travel and just talking about having a bus, not an RV.
Yeah.
Travel across the country.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It might be an RV. I don't, it just depends. It would probably be something never seen before. It would be newly designed. It would probably need a wide load sign of all the stuff I'd have on there. Okay,
Great
now
idea.
back to you. Uh, would you like to have a truth or a dare?
Let's do one more there since we're here
Oh,
already.
okay. All right. Uh, oh, this is a kind of two-parter. Why do you think hobbies are more important for one's career? And are you willing to share one or more of your hobbies?
Yeah, I think it's a great. I consider hobby is almost like your personal soft skills, where it's like a booster for a good work life balances, and I feel happier when when I'm doing the stuff I love, and life is not about only work. There's a lot of other things you can explore. Besides travel, you can have a lot of other things you can do. Um, it it also helps, like, even if you bring your hobby to professional setting, it helps with boosting networking, easier to talk to people and peers and even friends. So it's definitely something very key or essential to me personally. I have a lot of hobbies. Just to name a couple. I love gardening. I do a lot of gardening the weekends. I have probably more than 50 plant pots inside the house as well. And the other hobby I really like is I do like to make dessert wines and rice wines. Not a
Mm.
professional level, just for fun, but I love it. It's really a relaxing process for me, and you can share that. You can share the hobby with friends, so that's really great.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I really like the emphasis on hobbies, and that helps us make connections with people on a personal level. So as soon as you're like, hey, oh, I've also tried to make wine, or I like wine, or I like to garden. So it gives you an inroad to make a personal connection, and then things seem to flow more easily from there.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more truth, and then I'll let you give me one more dare, and then I will ask you for one more favor to share with me. So this is kind of a truth. I think this is a truth for you. How has investing in networking within your department, company, and your peers impacted your career?
Yeah, that's let's kind of go back to my hobby earlier, but I think, well, networking within the department, it has to be a bigger team. Otherwise, you mostly just work with your coworker very closely. So, well, I will break that down into two parts. So, networking within your company and your own department really help with collaboration and make your work easier. People understand you better, and you can probably get your responses and supports from your coworkers or your business partners faster, and people are more willing to work with you because personally know you better and more approachable. So that's really beneficial. Networking with our treasury peers is really, I really benefit a lot from that. Done a lot of peer benchmarking analyses. I think one thing I kind of feel like, if instead of learning from lessons learned from mistake, I prefer lessons learned from your peers. Treasury is a very small community, especially in the Bay Area. A lot of us, we know each other. I talk to my peers when I have questions on like vendors we use, because we have very similar, a lot of treasury teams have, every company probably uses similar vendors and from the treasury perspective. Feedbacks on the vendors or implementation experience with different treasury systems, or working on a project that's probably also similar across different companies within the treasury team. You can totally compare notes with your peers and learn from the experience. And of course, you're sharing that with your peers as well when they need help. That really saves you a lot of time, and from not just like personal horizon, but from like from professional setting, like it's really, really helpful and make your work a lot more efficient. Learning from your peers, and definitely keep the bonding together. When when you needed something, it's just, yeah, it saves time, save money, save energy. It's just really,
Right.
it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I preach all the time about my building, managing a professional brand. I think I mentioned at the beginning of my podcast introduction, but I love that you focused on your network. Most people don't understand all the dimensions of their network. So within work is important, within Treasury, across the enterprise, and then also with your peers. And I think a lot of people think their peers aren't going to respond to them and be open, and those are the best conversations that you have. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to give me one more dare, and then we'll hit you up with one more question.
I'm sure. Um, in your career for the last many years, have you encountered any difficult managers, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, I would say I have, but I haven't done very well at dealing with them. So I will share a few things. I have had to learn how to deal with them. So I have had more than one experience where I haven't dealt with them well, and I have been terminated, which ended up being a great thing. So I'm not ashamed of that, because what the managers were doing and the way they were mostly treating other people that worked for me or with me, I was not on board with that. So I would say managers that don't have enough consideration, managers that have a business switch and they don't treat people like human beings, that's a big thing for me. So I've always struggled with that. And then I've also struggled with managers that are playing political games.
Right.
Instead of telling me, I found out one of my managers we went somewhere, he wanted to see how I'd react. And I was like, I can't, that's just not me.
Right.
So I would encourage folks to just listen and get to know someone and not react, and just make an educated decision. Is this a culture I want to be around? Is this toxic? So a few of my managers I've let them make me act in a way that's not consistent with who I am as a person, and that's when I've had the most difficulty. So you gave me Dr. Phil, so now you're Dr. Phil. So Ernie hopefully feels better about himself. Okay, I've got one last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's truth or dare. It's truth. Why is Treasury fun, and why is it a great profession?
I, like mentioned earlier, early in my career, I went through the whole rotational program, and I got to choose which one I liked the most. From there, I think back then I had 4 departments I had to rotate through almost over 4 years of time. I think Treasury, I feel like I have a lot of excitement about the areas and different function, especially currently I'm in the capital market side of it. We're oftentimes involved in identifying, assessing, and mitigating companies' financial risks. Also involved in a lot of strategic planning and management, and build out investment policies and strategy to optimize companies' returns, help assist and manage companies' debt financings and capital structures. All of those areas, and you could get a lot of excitement from it. I mean, oftentimes there are challenges, but associated with it, there are a lot of excitement. So you get to you feel like you're closer to the market. You're helping out a company resolve problems, and you contribute to companies' financial health. So that's those some of the. I mean, there are a lot of of course, a lot of other benefits, but those are some of the areas I can highlight that's really keep me excited and passionate about the Treasury career.
Thank you so much, Josline, for sharing your Treasury truths and letting us get to know you better. To all of my listeners, have the courage to live your Treasury truths and dare to be great in anything you do within and beyond Treasury.
Thanks for watching the show. I hope you guys liked it. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned and hit the subscribe button for more.